competition. Even if you think you can't do it, okay, but if you leverage the strategy that we'll be discussing today, you would write your own story and write it well. So just give me a second to share my screen and then we can get started. But before we do that, I would love to know where you are joining us from. Are you joining from Lagos, Nigeria? Are you joining from outside of Nigeria, somewhere in South Africa, Ghana, and the likes? Let me know. Okay, let me know where you are joining us from. Let me know where you are joining us from. Okay, brilliant. And I want to assume that majority of us are seeing me for the first time. Okay, you're joining this session for the very first time. If that's true, you can type first timer in the chat box as well. Type first timer in the chat box as well. And this is the point where if you think there is anybody, or maybe a colleague, a cousin, a brother, a sister that can benefit from a session like this, send them the link, let them join so that we can learn together. Now, we're going to share value in this session from start to finish. Okay, so you want to ensure that you are paying attention. Okay, and there will be some ground rules. All right, now if you have any questions, okay, that you want to ask, just write it down somewhere, maybe in a piece of paper or somewhere in your phone. At the end of the session, you'll get to ask me all your questions. In fact, I'll give you the opportunity to unmute. You'll be able to talk to me, we'll have a conversation, but I need your full attention within the next 1.5 hours. Okay, now I'm excited to be here. Okay, my name is Mohammed Suleiman. I'm excited to be here. I want to know if you are also excited to be here while I share my screen. Let me know if you are excited. And I'll share my screen now. So once you see my screen, guys, okay, here I can see people joining from several parts of Africa and even across the world. You're all welcome. You're all welcome, guys. You're all welcome. So what we're going to be discussing today, let's go straight to the point, okay? And that's why I say, if you know anybody that should be here that is not here now, they're about to miss out, okay? And don't worry, at the end of the session, you see some people saying, "No, I joined late, this and that." Let them join now, else they will miss. Now, what are the tech skills that can change your life in 2025 and beyond? All right, so you're looking at a 10x. Let's say you earn something somewhere between 100 and 200K monthly right now. How do you move the needle up from where you are significantly? What skills should you be looking at, and why should you be looking at those skills, especially as an African? That's exactly what we will be discussing in today's session. But before we get into the details, right, let me introduce myself properly. Again, my name is Mohammed Suleiman. I'm the COO here at Nebiant Analytics. I manage operations, and I've been able to rack up close to a decade of experience in the corporate space. And I've had the opportunity to work with top firms across the globe. If you have heard of Alfa Romeo is one of Italy's largest luxury car brand, and I worked with their branch in the US, and I did that remotely from Nigeria. So I did not travel to the US. I actually worked from home for them, and I've had the opportunity in my career so far to be able to mentor 3,000 Africans, and quite a sizable number of them have been able to transition into their very first tech job today. Okay, I myself, I transitioned into tech. I had my first degree in mechanical engineering, but today we are here. I can call myself a tech bro. Okay, so if you want to be able to transition, you want to be able to leverage some of the strategies that I used myself. Okay, you are in the right place and you are welcome once again. But majority of us do not know who we are here at Navient Analytics and what we do. Okay, so I'll introduce Navient Analytics. You're welcome once again. Navient Analytics is an edtech firm that is passionate about the Africans. Okay, how do we make it a lot easier for Africans to get into the tech space? And how we do it is very simple. First, we strategically selected 3 career paths: data analytics, data science, business analysis. And then we built our premium tech training on 3 pillars. Pillar number 1 is by working with real world case studies. Okay. Pillar number 2 is by teaching students soft skills. Now, these are skills that other training firms would let you figure out on your own. Okay, and that's why you see majority of Nigerians, majority of Africans take 1 or 2 years before getting into tech. And these are for those of them who are ferociously persistent. So, do you have to spend that long? No, you don't. Now, pillar number 3 is we offer some lifetime support. Lifetime support to ensure that even after a program has ended, you still have some services that you perpetually get even after that, or as an alumni. Okay, like I said, at the end of the session, I'll take questions. So I want you to pay attention, and mind you, my slides. If you want to get my slides, you want to get the recording of this particular session, because the session is recorded, ensure to fill out the attendance form when it's available. I'll let you know when it's available so that you can fill it out. It's going to be in the chat, and you're going to see a link. So you click on the link, fill out the attendance form, and you're good to go. But let's get into it, right? Let's get into it. What are we here for? Okay. Now, the very first thing we're going to do is, what are those skills itself and why? Okay, what are those skills? As an African, why should you focus on those skills? Okay. We'll go into some of our extra layered career support and some success stories. You get to see people who have actually used this strategy and they are able to get jobs. And also the special announcement, and of course, as promised, the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Okay. All right. Who wants to know the skills to 10x your income? Because that's what we are going to now. You want to know the skills? Type a yes in the chat. Type yes in the chat. Type yes. Type it. Let me see in the chat. Type a yes in the chat if you want to know the skills. Fantastic. Okay, I can see the yeses. I can see the energy. Fantastic. So you can safely go out. You can safely, when the session ends, tell people that I saw energy. Okay, the science students, they'll tell you cannot see energy. Tell them I saw energy. Okay, in this session that I saw it. All right, fantastic. So let's go into it now. I call this a career hack. Okay, and it's a new trend that just came up globally. Are you with me, guys? It's a new trend that came up globally. Somebody says, please, no volume. If you can hear me loud and clear, please type loud and clear. That was the very first thing I confirmed before I started the session, Divine. So if you can't hear me, you may want to increase the volume of your device, okay? Others can hear me loud and clear, so the issue may be from your end. All right, great. So, as I was saying, guys, there is a career hack ongoing, and unfortunately, so many Africans don't know about it. Getting into tech is not about how hard you work, but about how smart you work. It's more of how smart you work as opposed to how hard you work. A lot of people think, oh, you have to be You have to be a science student. You have to be overly smart. You have to be a first class student. No, you have to have the right information. Now, what's this hack about? Recruiters are abroad, and let me tell you, let me give you this story. When somebody is hired as a HR for a company, human resource, one of the goals of a HR personnel or a recruiter is to reduce the expenses of the organization when it comes to human resource. If you've ever looked at the budget of or the expenditure of a company, HR department always records the least expenditure. And these are people that hire. Are we together, guys? So what's this hack all about? Now, tech recruiters have seen that, look, it takes me a lot to get a talent, at home. Okay, why not look elsewhere, especially where I can get cheap labor? Cheap labor. Do you know what cheap labor is, guys? Cheap labor. Recruiters abroad, especially tech recruiters, are looking out for cheap labor. Are we together, guys? Now, I want you to guess how much is cheap exactly. How much do you think we're talking about? Okay, when you say something is cheap, how much do you think they are looking to pay these professionals in terms of cheap labor? How much? I want you to guess. Take a wild guess in the chat box. Type it in the chat. Let me even see. Well, how much do you think these recruiters are looking out? Okay, $1,000. Colin says $1,000. So that means $1,000 is cheap. Fantastic. That's good. Go ahead. Who else wants to contribute? Who else is contributing to that? $500, $100K. Okay, fantastic. $50, 500. So is it what are you people talking about? Is it per month? Is it per year? Okay, is it per hour? All right. So what is cheap? So now, what recruiters want to do is, instead of paying a professional a certain amount at home, why not look at the African region where the standard of living is relatively low compared to where we are now? I'm talking about the recruiters abroad. So they look out for Africans that have the same skill set, and then they pay them substantially low compared to what they would have paid professionals over there. And that opens up a unique opportunity for Africans to flood into the tech space. Okay, now let's put this into perspective. Let's put this into perspective. Now, like I said, on average, a tech professional abroad earns something around $3,500 on a monthly basis. Okay, now a tech recruiter, would have to pay that amount when they hire them. Now, people who are also abroad, I want you to listen to this. A lot and majority of Africans fall into this bracket. Majority, especially those abroad. You travel out and then you settle for the menial jobs. What do you earn over there? $950 per month on average. Okay, $950 per month for a menial job over there. So what the recruiters are looking to do is, before we go there, what the recruiters are looking to do is that, can we find a tech professional, and instead of paying them $3,500, we pay them about $950 per month. That is impossible if they are looking at their local market. So what do? They come to Africa. Now, guys, I want you to do the mathematics. $950 per month. At a rate of 1,600 naira to a dollar, what is $950 per month? This sounds like those word problem, mathematics word problem back in the days. If you went to that kind of school, okay, this particular sentence sounds like all those exam problems. Okay, if 1,600 naira is to a dollar, how much in naira will be $950 per month? Who wants to do the mathematics for us? Quickly, who wants to do the maths? Fantastic. Ayodeji has done it. Okay, somebody, I'm not sure. People are getting different results. Okay, let's just say 1.5 million. 1.5 million monthly. You would have to be a senior, if not the senior most, manager in a top firm in Nigeria to be able to earn that amount of money. Okay, now this is the same amount they are paying people abroad for menial jobs. Okay, but because the cost of living over there is high, it really doesn't do much for you abroad. Okay, but if you are somewhere in Nigeria, somewhere in Africa, earning $950 on a monthly basis, you are good, and you are easily into the top 1% of earners in Nigeria. Easily. Are we together, guys? Because in Lagos 2025, the average salary in Lagos, you will not believe it. The average salary is just around 70,000 naira. It's not up to 70,000 naira. I'm not talking about minimum wage. You may think I'm talking about minimum wage. I am not talking about minimum wage. I am talking about the average salary in 2025 in Lagos alone. Now, you are going to be earning, how much is this? 1.5 million naira on a monthly basis. You don't have to leave your house. You work remotely for organizations in organizations abroad, and recruiters are in on this. And all you need is to have the correct skills to be marketable to such recruiter. You can't just present yourself, oh, because you're an African, hire me. No. Do you have the skills? Because again, you are required to have the same skill set as those professionals that they would have hired abroad. And once you meet that criteria, then you become, a sought after professional. Okay. Now we all agreed that it's 1.5 million on a monthly basis, right? I want you to tell me, do you think earning 1.5 million a month, would do you any good right now? Just type yes in capital letter if such a salary would do you any good right now. Type yes in capital letter in the chat. Okay. Some people did not even type yes, they typed of course. So you know how serious that is. Okay. So what is stopping you right now is to have the correct skill set. So the question is, okay, now we've been able to establish that, okay, I need to get into tech. I need to be marketable online. Now, what kind of tech jobs should I look out for? And here is what I tell people. Okay, here's what I tell people. I tell people that first off, you need to understand that these jobs are out there, and these are some of the platforms that you can look for these jobs: LinkedIn, Upwork, Indeed, Remote School, Well-Found, Built-in. There are a whole lot of them, and this is not even all. Okay, this is not even all. This is just some of the job boards that you can look for these opportunities. Okay, and even at that, there is a hack. If you stay till the end of this session, there is another hack I'll give you that you may not need to apply to any job to get a tech job. Such is the demand. Okay, but if you position yourself well, you may not even need to apply to this job. And some of our participants have leveraged that. Okay, But don't worry, stick around. I'll let you know how to do that. Okay. Now, what recruiters are now doing is they are looking for Africans that have these skills. But is it just any skill? Is it just any skill? Is it just any skill? No, it's not. Okay, it's not just any skill, unfortunately. Now, when you look at the tech ecosystem, there are so many skills. You have software engineers, web developers, DevOps engineers, cybersecurity analysts, data engineers, and so many more. Now, if you are not careful in choosing the career path to go for as an African, you would end up learning a skill and competing with Indians, wasting time. You waste a whole lot of time, looking for a job. Okay, because you are in a space that you don't have a leverage as an African. Now, so the key thing is, what space should you leverage that gives you a realistic chance? We are being realistic here. So what career path should you leverage so that you get a realistic chance to get into tech? And it resonates with my story back in the day when I met my mentor. Okay, I met my mentor just 2 months before I broke into tech. And as at the time, he asked me, what am I doing? And I told him, I'm trying to run a business. I'm trying to, learn tech. And he said, okay, what are you learning? All right. At that time, I was learning Python. And he laughed at me and said, what I'm trying to do is to build a house from the roof to the foundation. Impossible in a nutshell. So what you should do as an African is you want to look at one of these 3 career paths: data analytics, data science, and business analysis. You think this is my opinion? Well, no, it's not. Why should you look at these 3 skills? Very simple. Now, the reason number 1 is that they are easy to learn. Easy to learn in such a way that regardless of your background, you can pick up on these skills and learn it to a point where you know it. Okay, and this highlights our real-world case studies as well, which we use in training participants. Reason number 2 is that it is easy to transition. Okay, and just so you see how, when I say easy to transition, what I mean. Okay, let's very quickly, let's look at LinkedIn. Let's do a little bit of practical. So you won't say, oh, Mohammed, you're just talking. Let's look at it by ourselves. Okay, let's look at it. LinkedIn load very quickly so that we can look at it. So let's wait. Okay, it's loading. Fantastic. So this is my page. Okay, so you can check me out on LinkedIn, and I would love to connect with you. All right, but we are not here to see my face. We're here to search for jobs, right? So let me just search for data analyst. This class is not clear. Gloria, did you join late? Are you struggling with your network? If you're struggling with your network, please leave and join back. Can we still hear me, guys? Can we hear me? Can we hear me? Confirm you can hear me so that we are on the same page. Can we hear me? Can we hear me? Hi, Shakirat, are you there? Can you hear me clearly? All right. I can't see the slides again. So if you can't see the slides again, please leave the call and join back. Okay, just go out and join back. It's likely your network. Okay. It is likely your network. All right. Enter. So let's search for data analyst. Hit enter. Okay. Hit enter. Now, it's going to show you anything data analysts. All right. It's going to show you anything data analyst. But what you want to select is jobs, so that it shows you data analyst jobs. Okay. So let it load. Let it load. Okay, fantastic. You can hear me clearly. Brilliant. So you're gonna see data analyst jobs. Now, let's give it some time to load. So the reason I'm bringing you here is so that you can see the demand yourself. So it's not me just talking. Okay, it's not just Mohammed talking. So I'm going to click on jobs. Okay, so it shows me a list of jobs. Okay, it shows me a list of jobs. All right. Here is already showing me some of the jobs that are most recent. You can see business intelligence analysts and the likes. But let me click on jobs. So it's going to show me the jobs, all data analyst jobs. And one of the things you want to do is you want to change your location from Nigeria towards EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Now, these are the regions where these jobs are. So that's the region you want to use. Okay, that's the region you want to use. Now I'm going to click on the search button again. So, and let's look at the results. Let's look at the results. So I'll click on the search button. I'll click on the search button. Okay. So let's give it some time. I'll click on the search button. Let's give it some time. So while that is loading, again, the reason I'm bringing you here is so that you can see the demand for these jobs. All right, so it's going to load anytime now. Okay, it's going to load anytime now. Okay, data analyst, EMEA. So let's go for it. All right, data analyst, EMEA. Let us go for it. So it's going to load anytime soon. The total number of jobs you're going to see, okay, and you see it once it's downloading. It's going to it's around 15,000 jobs in the EMEA for data analysts alone. Okay, and that shows how high in demand these are. I think the network is a little bit crappy, so let me just check that to see. Okay, looks like the network is a little bit crappy, but let this be loading and then we'll come back and check it. Okay, because of time, we'll come back and we'll check it out. So I wanted to show you why it is easy to transition, because of the volume of demand for the jobs. So 15,000 jobs at any instance in time that you are looking for a job gives you a very good chance to get in one yourself. And finally, except if you don't like money, these career paths are highly paying. Okay, highly paying. Now we did a little bit of calculation the other time and we got what? 1.5 million. So such is the kind of salaries that you are exposed to working remotely for these regions. Okay, for organizations in these regions. All right. So you can search for business analysis. Okay, search for business analysis. Just ensure you put EMEA and you see the results. Okay, just ensure you put EMEA so you see the results. All right. Now, the question is, what are these three skills? What are their projections? And in the Future of Jobs reports for the World Economic Forum, now this is a congregation of politicians, billionaires, thought leaders, captains of industries. They come together to discuss what is the future of job heading into the near, the short-term and long-term future. So the projections for any data-driven career path, okay? People are saying we can't see what you are doing on your screen. Please, can you confirm, please? If you can see my screen, just type "I can see your screen." So those that cannot see my screen know that it's not from my end, but from theirs. Okay, if you can see my screen, please just type in the chat, "I can see your screen." Fantastic, thank you very much. Okay, quite a number of people can see my screen. So if you can't see my screen, then check your network, or simply leave the call and join back and see if that fixes the issue for you. The attendance form is also in the chat box. You see one of my team members in the chat, okay, posting the attendance form. They'll post it again now. It comes with a blue link. Fill out the attendance form so that you can get the recording, you can get the slides as well. So in case you can't see my screen at this point, you can still, get the recording of the session and the likes. Now, the projections for this job between now and the year 2030 is that demand is going to increase by an additional 30 to 35%, meaning that a job that has 15,000 open roles per instance of search would have more than 20,000 open roles by the year 2030. So imagine you get into it now. Okay, imagine you get into it now. And a lot of people say, oh, the tech space is saturated, everybody is getting into tech, because of that there will not be jobs. Who told you there are no jobs? Okay, so the demand is even increasing, and such is the demand. So now, who wants to know the difference between data analytics, data science, and business analysis? Who wants to know? Do you want to know the differences between data analytics, data science, and business analysis? If you want to know, now let us get into it. Okay, now the goal for knowing the difference between the three is to know which one suits you. And that is the first step you need to take, okay, in the right direction if you want to get into the tech space. That's the first step in the right direction that you need to take to be able to get into the tech space. Okay, now we'll take that step together. All right, so let's start with the data analyst. What's the job of the data analyst? Now, I love to call the data analyst, and I want you guys to listen very carefully, because you will not need any other session apart from this session to know the differences between these three career paths. Now, I love to call the data analyst storytellers. I love to call them the storytellers, and there's the reason why. That's what they do. As a data analyst, you're going to tell stories. You get into the organization, you get hold of their data and tell them what happened. You want to tell them what happened. What happened? Okay? What happened last year? What happened last 2 years? In terms of profit and revenue. Apart from that, you also want to tell them why it happened. You tell them why it happened. You tell them why it happened. Okay, if you can't see anything on my screen, DNF Arts, check your network, please. Okay, and to better understand the job of a data analyst, you need to know that there are 4 types of analytics in the first place: descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Now, the job of a data analyst revolves around the first 2 types, which is descriptive, which is the telling of stories, explaining what happened, summarizing what happened in terms of charts and visuals. And then diagnostic analytics is explaining why those things happen. These are going to be your focus for the data analyst. Okay, so you take a long list of data and you summarize it into a single chart or a single dashboard. Okay, that tells the organization, oh, so what happened and the likes. Okay, diagnostic analytics, on the other hand, is when you go further and say, okay, this thing that happened, why did it happen? Of course, it's not going to be your opinion. You're also going to use data and analyze data to, understand this and then communicate to stakeholders. Now, the attendance form is in the chat box. The link is there. Click on it to get access, as spoken before. Now, to be a successful data analyst, you must know these tools: Excel, Power BI, SQL, Tableau, ChatGPT, and Looker Studio. Okay, and Looker Studio. Now, we're back to LinkedIn. I went back to LinkedIn. It has loaded. Now, I want you to look at this. Data analyst in EMEA. How many open roles can you see there? 14,821 results. 14,821 vacancies for data analysts alone. Okay. And this is tremendously high. You can see some of them 12 hours ago, 1 day ago, 3 days ago, 5 days ago, 1 week ago, 4 days ago, 21 hours ago, and the likes. Okay. 1 day ago, and the likes. This is 2 days ago. This is 11 hours ago. These are recent jobs. Okay. These are recent jobs. Okay. You can see data analyst remote. All right. Remote audio data annotator. Okay. Data analyst. Okay. So these are the level of demand. All right. And you can set for business analyst as well. Okay. Business analyst. Okay. You can search for business analyst. All right. You can see 7,000 open roles. 7,000 open roles. Okay. And the like. So let's go back. For a data analyst, you need to know Excel, Power BI, SQL, Tableau, Looker Studio, and ChatGPT. And if you go to LinkedIn, and let's just look at one data analyst role, so you can see that those tools are actually valid. Okay, let's look at this data analyst role, for example. What tools are they asking for? As you can see, Looker Studio. Okay, proficiency in SQL, experience with BI tools. So, and the BI tools can be either Looker Studio, Metabase, or Tableau. And you have Looker Studio and Tableau, meaning you are a hot cake. All right. You can look at any other role, data analyst role. Okay, data analyst role. And let's see again, SQL. Okay, Tableau, Power BI, or Metabase. You can see Tableau, Power BI. You know 2 out of 3. So those are, and you can see them, Power BI, Tableau. All right. Now, you can see for data analysts, and this is nice to have. Nice to have. Now, when you see something under nice to have, it is a plus. It is a plus. Now, this role may require that, you know how to use Excel at the very least. Okay. But nice to have, meaning if you want to have an edge, you should have SQL, they put Python there, you have Tableau, you have Power BI, and the likes. Okay. This is also nice to have that in Manchester. But this does not mean that you cannot apply to the job if you are not. Okay. This is just a nice to have. All right. And there are so many others like that. Okay. There are so many others like that. All right. You can see the roles. You can see Power BI, Tableau, the same set of tools recurring. The same set of tools recurring. So that's why you need to know these tools: Excel, Power BI, SQL, Tableau, Looker Studio, and ChatGPT. Somebody's asking, what is Power BI? Power BI means Power Business Intelligence. You use it to automate reports. Okay, so you can create a report in January, for example, and then you use the same reports throughout the year without having to create the reports from scratch again. Now let's move to the data scientist. Now, I love to call the data scientists as the inventor. The inventor. Now, what do the inventors do? This is what they do. As a data scientist, your job is to predict into the future. You predict it in the future, and you will not be the ones doing the prediction itself. Okay, you are going to build a model or an AI that will predict for you. You build an AI machine that will predict for you, and this machine is going to be in your laptop that you build. Okay, so as the data scientist, you focus on predictive and prescriptive analytics. You see that the data analyst did not touch these two. Those are going to be your job as the data scientist. You're going to focus on predictive analytics. So when anybody asks you what's the difference between a data analyst and a data scientist, I think you know the answer now. I think you know the answer now. Okay, so the data scientist actually predicts into the future and also prescribe. Okay, now that we know what is likely going to happen, how do we influence it? And that how do we influence it is the prescriptive analytics side of things. And to become a successful data scientist, you need to know these tools: Excel, Python, SQL, GitHub, Tableau, and ChatGPT. Now you see ChatGPT is recurring. You cannot ignore AI. AI is the in thing today. So if there's anything you're learning and there is no AI in it, you are what should I say now? You are wasting time. Okay? You are wasting time. You will be left behind eventually. Maybe not now, but eventually. So to future-proof your skills, you need to get conversant with ChatGPT. Many of you may already be using ChatGPT, but how do you use it as a data scientist? It's a different ballgame entirely. All right. So these are the tools you need to know as a data scientist. Now, how about the business analyst? The business analyst, I love to call them, who wants to guess what I call the business analyst? Guess what I call the business analyst? I love to call them the translator. The translator. Okay. Somebody said over Sabi. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'll call the business analyst over Sabi. All right. So translator. Okay. Now, why I call them the translator is that business analysts, their job is, how do I ensure that everybody is carried along? How do I ensure that everybody is carried along to that single goal of the company? So, and to carry different set of people along, you must be able to understand their languages. Okay, so, and that's why I call them the translators. Okay, so your job is to enter into organization, understand the goal of the company, and then align the stakeholders of that company on that mission. That alignment, that's what your job is. Okay, that's what your job is. All right. So, and as a business analyst, okay, you need to be a very good communicator. You need to be able to communicate. If you are the kind of person that you love meetings, you like to hold meetings and the likes, you can document. All right, you can map out processes. This is a career path for you. And as a business analyst, you need to know these skills: Excel, SQL, Power BI, Miro, Draw.io, ChatGPT, Azure DevOps, and Jira. Now, ordinarily, business analysis covers just these particular tools that I'm circling here. Okay? These tools are the core business analysis tools. You see these three, they are data tools. But guess why they are here? The reason they are here is because recruiters have started requiring that as a business analyst, you know how to handle data, maybe not to the extent of a data analyst, but to a reasonable or decent extent. And for us to cater to that need, we included the Excel, Power BI, and SQL tools in the business analysis curriculum as well. Okay, so that ensures that you are up to par as to what is needed um, as a business analyst. Now, to the big question: which of these career paths, which of these career paths did you choose? Okay, which of these career paths did you choose? Let me know in the chat box. Which did you choose? Do you want to become a storyteller, or an inventor, or the translator? Which do you want to become? Okay, data analyst, business analyst, fantastic. Now, while you are doing that, okay, while you are responding to that, this is somebody who followed this particular path. Naomi. Naomi's story was splendid. Now, Naomi, what she did was her company, she was working for a company in the Francophone region of West Africa. And as an Anglophone, she was going to be relegated. What she did was to join our program to get upskilled. And guess what? To cut a long story short, Naomi had a department to herself, newly created, and she was given an offer to lead that department. When she asked whether she was going to be trained, they told her that she was the one that's going to train people working with her in that department because they could see what she was doing on LinkedIn. So I got this screenshot from her LinkedIn page. So Naomi John MBA, if you search this, you're going to see her. You can connect with her. Okay, you can connect with her and get to see um, um, her profile as well, and you can see her portfolio. So she had a portfolio of projects. The project she was working on in class, she made it into a portfolio, and she has the link of that portfolio right here. Okay, so people can see the work that she's been able to do, and she got all of those materials here at Nebient Analytics. And these are some of our posts. These are some of our posts. Are later in the slide. Now, this is Esther and Mary. Now, these guys, I would have loved to tell their story. For example, Esther, she got a job as a monitoring and evaluations analyst, okay, at Power Nigeria, working as a data analyst, okay. And she joined our data analytics program. This is also Mary, all right. Mary, and mind you, Naomi that I showed earlier joined our business analysis program. So if you're wondering, okay, this person joined our data analytics program, which is Esther, and this is also Mary. Mary joined our data analytics program, currently works at Soronko Foundation as an intern. Out of 3,000 applicants, okay, only 2 were picked, and Mary was one of them. All right, Mary was one of them. So I would love you to hear from them in the next 10 to 12 minutes. I want you to hear from them. And once you've heard from them, I would walk you through some of the things that they got extra, apart from the technical training. What did they get extra? Okay, I would love you to, listen to that. Now, if you can see my screen, let me know. My screen is going to come up anytime now. Let me know once you can see my screen. So I stop sharing, and then I want to share again so that you can hear them speak. Okay, so that you can hear them speak. All right, so let's go ahead. Yeah, hello Mary, good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you doing tonight?
I'm also fine.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah, about my experience. Last year I completed my national service. I'm in Ghana. So the national service is like the NYSC period. And I knew where I was working, we wouldn't be picked after the service. I decided to upskill because that was the only way that would help me stand out. So through the experience I got from Nivians, I got to hear of it from Instagram. Yes. So I've been following you from, no, it was from a finance guy on Instagram, Shay the assistant. So he posted something about remote work, and then I was reading through the comment sections, and then I saw someone recommend Nivians, and then I saw the text from them. Then I decided to text and then join the program. So I joined in December. And during the period, the courses were really well taught. And the tutors today were very, very experienced and humble and really, really knowledgeable. And they had time for it too. So if you couldn't understand something taught in class, you could ask, and then they will take you through it very well. Aside from that, throughout the week, you can text them. They would help you out with your problems if you have issues. And at a point, sometimes it felt overwhelming. I felt like it was too much. So I did text one of the tutors, and then she gave me a heads up and was like, it's normal. It's a bit normal for you to feel that way. So she helped me out, and then I got back on track. So initially I was dealing with imposter syndrome too, because I felt I wasn't good enough to apply for jobs. So for a while I wasn't applying, but then in May, late April and then May, I decided that I had to apply for jobs because I was just staying at home. So I started applying, and then the CV formats that we were given, I used that CV format, and then with the projects that I had built, I just used them and then started applying. And luckily for me, it's like most of the jobs that I applied with that CV format and my skills, I got an interview for them. The first one that I applied, which was Sonko Academy, and I got an interview. I went, and then later on they called that I had been accepted, so I was supposed to start work. So I started work last week Monday, and if it was there that I realized that they said that for the role that they were
sorry, Mary. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. Okay, I beg your pardon. So when did you say you started again? I want everybody to hear when did you say this?
I started last week Monday.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so so far, we've been working on data, huge data sets. We've been cleaning, and hopefully by next week we'll be done cleaning, and then we'll start with the analysis. And it was there that I realized we were told that the number of people who applied for that position, it was a lot, like over 3,000.
Over 3,000.
Over 3,000 people. So it was at that point I was like, hey, I think it's the CV formats that, like, I don't know, put me in or something, because for over 3,000 people, and then they just needed to...
How is it possible that it is you they picked, right?
Really? How? It was just two people that they needed to. So I was shocked, but I didn't let them know. And the other two interviews, whenever I go for it, they ask me if it's like they're fascinated about the skills, especially with the Excel and then Power BI. So mostly they will be asking, how confident are you in Power BI? So I realized that Power BI is kind of like necessary in almost all the companies for reporting. So the moment they see that you have some skills in those tools, they are so keen to like have you, and then just to take you in for the job. So far I'm still I've still been called for interviews, and I even have an upcoming interview to go for right now. But then I've accepted the other job soon. Yeah.
These jobs, yeah. Fantastic one, Mary. So guys, you can hear Mary. Mary started this Monday a new role, and she's already applying the things that she learned in class. She's also actively applying, but she just told us that she's going to drop those ones. Okay, so but if Mary still needs help in the interviews that she has, Mary knows where to go. She can come to Nivians and we would help her at no extra cost. So,
Mm.
Mary, what advice do you want to give the people before I let you go? What do you
Yes,
have? What
I
advice
would.
would you give?
Okay, I would say that being imposter syndrome, you have it. Like whether I don't know, for some people maybe they might not have it, but then with me I had it. But it shouldn't stop you from applying. It shouldn't. And even if you do not get a job offer, the interview, it's I feel the interview gives you confidence. Like when you go, you now know what to expect from them, what questions
Ah,
to expect and then prepare well for. And then when you go for the interview to just be confident, like be really, really confident, even if you have no idea of what they said, try to maneuver around the question and then like because just add confidence to it. And I think it will help you. And apply any job, any analyst position you see, apply. Be it internship, be it contract. Don't say, oh, it's not in my field. Maybe I'm new, so I can't apply. Apply. Just apply. You'd see that at a point you realize that the interviews will just be coming. It will just be coming, and then you go for the one that you feel like you want.
fantastic. Mary, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
So, and I want to tell you one thing before I let community member. So, congratulations once again. I really congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
This is another interview. All right. Then we go on. Thank you very much for being. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. Okay, so Esther, you're welcome to this session. What we want to hear from you is how was the experience? How did you hear about us? How did Nebiant impact your journey? To where you are now. So just share with us the next couple of minutes.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I saw Nebiant Analytics. I think I saw their ad on Facebook. So there was a group. I think they were doing a free class or something, and I wasn't able to join the class. But then the day I joined, Mrs. Limwell was having like a talk on. She was explaining everything about data analysis, and the tech world. I just got interested. I'm like, okay, I've always wanted to get into tech. By the way, I didn't mention that I'm a healthcare professional, so I've always wanted to get into the tech space, but I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know, the right course to take, all of those things. So after the class that day, I decided, okay, let me just, data analysis sounded like something that I've liked. So I paid for the class and I joined. That was February. So while the class
February this year.
Yeah, February.
Was it February this year or this year?
February this year, yeah.
Okay, all right,
So,
fantastic.
Unfortunately, I couldn't understand anything. It was just too much. A lot of words I've never heard before, so I got confused. I reached out to Joy, one of the our class coordinator, yes, and I was complaining. So I told her that I can't understand. I want to give up. I want to stop. I want to leave the class. That I don't understand anything. There's so much for me, and she kept encouraging me. And she told me that I can't give up now. That I should just try my best. I should put in, even if it's 2 hours every day, I can do this. I can do this. So I started paying more attention to the classes. After the class, I think we just finished last month or so. After the class, and there was something she told me. She said that when I finish, I should just tell everybody that I'm a data analyst. So
exactly, you should claim it.
I started telling everybody that I'm a data analyst, or I'm a data analyst. And anybody that I'm having a conversation with, I say I'm a data analyst. So as a health professional, I work in the NGO space. So, and what I do is M&E, that's monitoring and evaluation. So I saw a job role, and it was M&E analyst. I'm like, this is not what taught us in class. So
exactly.
I applied, and fortunately for me, I got the job. and I was so excited. I was so happy. So I want to say a very big thank you to Media and Analytics and the tutors, oh my God, they're always there. Anytime you come back and say, I don't know what's going on, I can't understand, they always take the patience to explain to you, and bring you back on track. So, and then I advise everybody, just apply, especially if you had a background or something else. If you apply in that background, I think it's easy. I don't know. I'm just saying based on experience. So I feel like if you have a background or something, it's easier to just align what you have and put analysis. Because at the end of the day, data is everywhere, right?
Exactly. Data is everywhere. Healthcare, supply chain, wherever you are, data is there. Okay. Fantastic. So you've gotten to hear from Esther and Mary. Okay. You've gotten to hear from Esther and Mary, and you'd hear when I was speaking to them, guys, that they had the opportunity to come back, okay, if they had any issue, and we'll still help them out. Now, what you can see on my screen is those extra things that you get just because you register. First off, you get weekly mentorship. Okay, during the program, you get weekly mentorship where we'll help you overcome issues that you have, point you in the right direction, and put you in the right frame of mind as a tech talent. You also have what we call CV assessment and job matching. You can't have just one CV and use that CV to apply. You heard when Mary was talking about a CV format that scaled her through 3,000 plus applicants. They chose 2 people to hire, and she was one of the 2. So you need a CV that even gives you that chance to be seen in the first place. So this is it. You also have LinkedIn profile revamp. If you had listened to some other testimonials that we had, some of our participants did not even apply to the jobs that they got. What did it for them? LinkedIn. And this is why I said at the beginning of the session, when I told you that it is possible to get a job without actually applying to the job. If you are lazy like me and you don't want to apply to jobs, all you need to do is to go all in on LinkedIn and you get your results. We also have Upwork profile optimization. This is a platform where you get to work remotely, majorly for organizations in the US that are looking for African talent, okay, or cheap labor. Let me put it that way: cheap labor. Saying African talent is like sugarcoating it. They are looking for cheap labor. Then this is where it gets interesting, guys. On top of everything, you have lifetime services. Now, anytime you have an interview coming up, all you need to do is to reach out to us and we'll prepare you on that interview lifetime. This is a lifetime service. So it means even after a program has ended, you still have access to this. You also have a lifetime access to all your training materials, PDFs, videos, everything you use in class. You have a lifetime access to it. You also have a 1-month internship and a lifetime access to recommendation letters. Then you also have lifetime access to our alumni mentorship, which we newly launched this month. So this is something that if this that I circled, okay, is the only reason that you join, then this is worthwhile. Because guess what? This is how you continuously benefit from Nebiant Analytics by being part of the community. All right. So, and this was what they got. Okay, and they still have access to all of this. This is Helen Okai. Okay, Helen Okai. You can go to our page. You see all of these people that I'm talking about. Gotten so many people to get jobs. Helen Okai, I was the one who prepared her recommendation letter for her when she asked for it. She asked for our recommendation letter, and I was the one who sat down and prepared it for her. So, and you would also be getting that honor, okay, of having me to prepare your recommendation letter for you when the time comes. Okay. Now, the program is for 3 months. For 3 months, you learn. And then you have a 1-month internship. In total, 4 months. Okay. Now your classes are going to be online, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays, instructor-led, just the way we are on this call. You'd have an instructor on the call walk you through a real world project, a real case study. Now on Sundays, you get what we call DID videos, do as I do. Now these videos are self-paced, so you can spread it through the week, but the idea behind the DID videos is that it prepares you ahead of the next real case study you are working on Saturdays. Saturdays to solve real world problems, not to talk, not to teach you theory. Real case studies that you face on the job. Now, during the weekdays, Tuesday and Thursdays, you're going to have sessions, but they are not classes actually. On Tuesday, you have what we call support session. Now, this support session is a session where if you have any issues from what you've learned so far, you jump into that call, your facilitator will be there to circumvent any issue that you have in that session. And then on Thursdays, you undergo mentorship sessions where we get to discuss fantastic topics like how to negotiate a tech salary, how to introduce yourself in an interview, how to overcome imposter syndrome. You feel you are not adequate enough. How do you overcome that? And we get to review real things to you that we have also faced during our own journey into the tech ecosystem. Okay, and give me a second. Yeah, and that's the schedule for the program. Now you can see the full brochure here. When you get my slides, ensure to fill out the attendance form so that you don't miss out on all of these info. Okay, now there are so many other testimonials. If you want me to walk you through it, these are some of the projects you get to work on when you get into the program and the likes. You have the portfolio of some of our students after passing through the program. What were they able to build? Okay, now there are even more testimonials that you can watch. Okay, more testimonials. All right, so the question is, do you want to listen to more testimonials, or how do you join the class? We have our next class is starting June 9th. Okay, June 9th, the next class is starting. Do you want to know how you can get yourself enrolled into that class, or you even want to hear even more testimonials? Okay, somebody said, I want to know how to join the class. Okay, now first off, you need to go into, ensure to subscribe to our YouTube page so that you get to receive all the latest testimonials. There are tons of them. Okay, Oluwaseun is there. You have these 3 young ladies as well, and even more. Okay, but you said I should not bore you with that. Let's go into how to join the program on the 9th of June. So you'll be onboarded into the program on the 9th of June. And guys, I want us to listen very carefully. Okay, because anybody who, and I did this the last time, all right, where there are, for people who decide in a session like this to join the program, okay, there is something extra that I will be giving you. Now, this is not from Nebiant Analytics, it is from Mohammed Suleiman. Okay, now for the first 10 people that will be joining the program tonight, okay, they would have an exclusive employability training with me. Okay, they would have an exclusive training with me later this week. All right, the date will be updated. Don't worry about that. Now, for you to join the program, okay, either data science, data analytics, or business analysis, price of the program is 250,000 naira. Now, you can decide to pay in full, you can decide to pay twice, or you can pay in 4 installments. In 4 installments, you can get access to the program. How? Now, with 30,000 naira, you can secure a seat right now to ahead of the class. Okay, with 30,000 naira, you secure a seat ahead of the class. And once you do that, you gain access to that freebie that I'm going to be doing this Friday, where you'll be in an exclusive training with me on employability, where I'll teach you how to set up a job alert so that you don't ever have to look for jobs manually online. Okay, I'll also show you how to come up with LinkedIn posts without having to think about it. All right. So if you want to learn how to do that, okay, this Friday, a lot of people asked me for it. So if you want to be in that particular session on Friday, it's going to be exclusive. For you to enter, all you need is the 30,000 naira, secure a spot for the program, and then you'll be eligible for that. Now, for you to start the program itself, okay, you top up with 55,000 naira before the class starts June 9th. So this means that for you to start the program, you need 85,000 naira, and that gets you into the program. But with 30K, you secure a seat first. Okay, and this is very useful if you want to start in July. If you want to start in July, for example, okay, if you want to start in July, you secure a seat now, and then before the July cohort starts, meaning you have 1 month, you top up with 55,000, and then you can get into that particular class. 1 month into the program, you then top up with 85,000 naira, and then 2 months into the program, you then top up with the final part of the payment, which is 80,000 naira, and that makes up 250,000 split into 4 places. So if you really want to get into the program, all you need now is 30,000. You secure a seat with a direct transfer to our Sterling Bank account. You can secure a seat with 30,000 naira, 0098999047. All the thing, once you do that, all you need to do is send me a DM, WhatsApp only, 0703-215-8619, and I'll walk you through on the next step. Okay, if you secure a seat tonight for either the June class or the July class or even the August class, because you have the liberty to choose when you want to start, but you can secure your seat now. If you secure your seat now, tonight, you'll be part of that exclusive training happening on Friday. 0703-215-8619. WhatsApp only, please. WhatsApp only. Send me a DM. I would walk you through the next step that you need to take. Okay? And this would just be exclusive to those who secure their spot tonight. Now, again, I said that you don't have to start in June. If you want to give yourself more time, you want to get something sorted out, you can decide to start in July or even August. Okay? In your enrollment process, you'd indicate when you want to start. All right? But the key thing is that if you secure your spot tonight, not only would you gain access to that exclusive training on Friday, you'd also get get this particular price point locked down. Because guess what? If you go to our website right now, it is 350,000 naira, and that's the price we are looking to update our programs to. So what you need to do right now, okay, is to secure a slot. Even if you want to start in July or August, you secure a slot, and then you get this particular offer. Okay, but if you wait till that time, guess what? You will not be getting this particular offer, and you would have missed out on all of those things. So I'll take questions now. While people are securing their spots. I'll take questions. So you can send me a DM once done. Okay, after the session, I would respond to your DM. Okay, send me a DM with the proof of payment, and I would walk you through the very next steps. Are your live classes recorded? Yes, all your classes will be recorded, and you would have a lifetime access to it even after the program has ended. Okay, when you join. Freedom is asking, what's the duration of the program? What's the mode of lectures? Okay, I mentioned this earlier in the session. Probably you joined late, Freedom. Okay, so 3 months journey and a 1 month internship, and your classes are weekends, Saturdays mainly. So on Saturday, you solve a real-world problem, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. under the guidance of an instructor. And then on Sundays, you have what we call self-paced DID videos that prepare you ahead of the next class, the next Saturday. Tuesday evenings, you have what we call support sessions. Now, this is not a class. It is only for you to enter into this session if you have any issues, and your facilitator would solve the problem for you. And then on Thursday evenings, you also have mentorship sessions. Okay, and that's the schedule for the class. Now, all of these classes are going to be recorded as you are attending for future references. Okay, not for us, but for you, because we know that you would need it in the future as well. Okay, so that's the structure of the program, and this is the details. Okay, so you may want to send me a DM with the proof of payment once done, so that I walk you through the next steps. Okay, my WhatsApp number is 0703-215-8619. I'll put it in the chat again. 0703-215-8619. Okay, send me a DM and let's get you started. Okay, now if you are one of the people who would send me a DM, again, you'd also have the exclusive Friday training. That is coming from me, not necessarily from Nebiant, but from me to you, just because you secured your spot tonight. Okay, so who else has a question? If you have a question, you can raise your hand. Okay, you can raise your hand. I'll allow you on mute now, so you can ask question. Okay, I'm gonna activate microphones, but if you want to speak, please first raise your hand so that I call you, then you unmute. Therapy Innocent, your hand is up. I don't know if you want to speak with me. Do you want to ask a question? All right, I'm not sure if Therapy wants to ask a question. Who wants to ask me a question? Okay, I have Chibo to Amaka. Go ahead, please. You can unmute your mic.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for this program.
It's
I really want to know if this program is a certification course. I can get my certificate from it.
Please, only one person should speak, please. Amaka is speaking, so let me take Amaka first, then I'll take the other person who is trying to speak. Okay, so Amaka, sorry, the interruption did not allow me hear your question. Please, can you repeat it again?
Okay, I really wanted to know if this program is a certification course, and is it going to be an online course or what, or physical? I don't know.
Oh yes, it is, and I mentioned it earlier in the session. Okay, so it's 100% online, and the reason we offer it online is very simple. Okay, it allows us to bring experts from different regions of Africa, so we are not confined to local experts. Are you with me? So we outsource our experts without having to think about, oh, how will we get them to the class. It also allows us to reach quite a lot of students across Africa. We have Kenyans, Ghanaians, Nigerians in Francophone, countries, Nigerians, even Nigerians abroad, Africans abroad, and that is how, we are able to. That's how we are able to do it, 100% online. Also, it prepared you for working remotely. Okay, and I tell people, if you want to work remotely, when do you want to learn how to work remotely? Okay, so working remotely is a different ball game than going to the office. So how do you get conversant with remote tools, the remote work environment? So that's why those are the three reasons we have the program online fully. And I hope that answers your question.
Okay, then the one of the certification courses, can I get a certificate from it after the end of the course?
Absolutely. You'd have a certificate. Okay. Now, the reason I didn't dwell on the certificate, I did it deliberately. And here is the reason why. More than half of the students that got jobs so far did not apply to the job. Okay, and they got the job while they were on the program, meaning they had not completed the program to even get the certificate. So recruiters do not focus on certificates, they focus on the skills. Okay, and that's what I've tried to do so far. Okay, so that because Nigerians are, and this is Africans generally, we are wired to go for a certificate, that certificate, because that's what we believe in. Okay, but the recruiters are going to, when you present the certificate, they'll say, oh, that's nice, you completed something. So can you show us what you've been able to do? Now, the moment you are able to show what you've done, then you are the one that would likely get hired out of a multitude of people. Okay, so yes, you get a certificate, but even at that, I don't want you to focus on just the certification. I want you to focus on the skills. Okay, does that answer your question?
Okay, thank you so much. That answered my question.
All right, fantastic. Just before I take Helene, if you have sent me a DM, because I've received 2 DMs now, if you sent me a DM, I would respond to you immediately after we end this particular session. But congratulations to you. You'll be part of that freebie training on Friday. Okay, so let's go to the next person. Helen, do you want to quickly ask your question now? Or Amaka, do you still have any question?
No, that is fine. That's
okay.
Fine.
Amaka, are you one of the people who have sent me a DM already?
Not yet, but I'm going to do that soon.
All right. So do you have my phone number, or you want me to type it again in the chat?
I just screenshot the screen phone number. I guess it's
Okay.
one of your phone number there.
Yes, that's my phone number, the one at the bottom. All right, so you're good to go then. Okay.
Thank you.
Helen, yeah, it's a pleasure. Helen, it's your turn now. Hi, Helen, you can unmute your mic so that I can hear you. Okay, it seems Helen has some technical issues. I'm not sure. Let me see who the next person is. Christelle.
Hello, good evening.
Christelle, is that Christelle? Christelle is the next person, actually. I'm calling people according to how they raise their hand. Christelle, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yeah, that's it. You pronounce it correctly.
Okay. Fantastic.
I just have 2 questions, please. The first question, I didn't hear properly when you were talking about like resume, LinkedIn, and everything. So, are you the one who prepare it for the student, or you just like give, like you just show how to do it, or like we have more support regarding it?
Okay.
And also regarding the classes, I think the Saturdays you said something is like work on a real project. So is it from the onset, or is it like, is the course divided in 2 parts where we have first, I mean, like the theory part and then the practical part? Just want to understand, because you said the Saturdays is for like to work on a real problem or something like that. If I understand that.
Very good question. Okay. Now, yes, I talked about LinkedIn and CV optimization and the likes. Now, when you register for the program, the moment the program is about to start, you will be put into a platform called Google Classroom. Let me show you what it looks like. I'm just going to pull it in here so you see what it looks like. Okay. This is what the Google Classroom looks like. Now, the very first set of materials you get is what we call the important materials. Now, not to say that other things are not important, but this is the very first thing. This is the May cohort. Okay, this guy started in May. You can see on my screen CO525, which is the May cohorts of 2025. So the first thing that was posted in their classroom on May 2nd was everything, all the materials that had to do with getting a job application resource, including a sample CV. You've not started anything. You've not started working on any project. You already have this. You have videos on CV assessment and CV job matching. You have videos on setting up your Upwork account. So at the start of the session, you have this. And guess what? You have a lifetime access to this. Nobody's going to take it away from you from here. Okay? So now you also have portfolio videos. Okay? Now this portfolio video is the resource that our students watch, and they are able to put the real world project that they've worked into a website portfolio. You will not write one line of code to create a website portfolio. In fact, I've done it in a session like this before. From start to finish, I created a portfolio in like 30 minutes. And the reason it took time, it took 30 minutes, was because I was explaining it to the audience. So it is really easy for you to, get these things done. Okay. And this is the LinkedIn optimization resource done by the CEO herself. And this helps you optimize your LinkedIn. So it's something you can go over and over again. It's not a one-time thing. And that's why we've created it into a resource that you can always go back to. All right. And then the other resources are your classes. Now, every class you attend, you have a login detail to have the class material which you work on. And the class, as you are attending it, just like this one, it will be recorded so that we can provide that recording to you after the class in case you need to go back to it. It is also very useful when you've gotten a job, okay, because you may want to refresh your memory on one or two things. And you can see we've segmented it into topics in such a way that you can easily trace your steps back. And, you go back to the recording to refresh your memory. Okay, so, and that's how, it works. Now you ask the question, oh, how about the classes? How is it structured? Now, Saturdays are meant for real world projects. Real world projects. Okay, now during the week, Sundays and during the week, what you would get is self-paced pre-recorded videos that prepare you ahead of the next class. So if there is anything theoretical or even preliminary practicals that you need to get yourself familiar with, they would be in the preparatory videos, so that when you get into class on Saturdays, you can actively participate. And even if you have issues, the facilitators are patient and understand that these are beginners starting their journey, and they would help you, circumvent any issues. So it is under their guidance you'll be solving the real world project. So it's not about just building, it's about understanding the problem you are solving, because that's the first thing about being in the tech ecosystem. So that's how it works. I hope I answered the question, Christelle.
Okay, yeah, I understand. So like we will have like some preliminary videos, like
Exactly.
the theoretical part, and then the Saturday is mainly
the work
practical,
project,
practical.
practicals. Exactly.
That's great. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right. Somebody's asking in the chat, oh, what's the minimum salary of a data analyst? Okay. So
sorry, and this is for the business.
Yeah.
I mean, like data
Go ahead,
science
please.
and analysis as well. Is for everything, right? It's not only for data. I mean, is for all the courses, business analysis and the data science as well.
Are you talking about the price?
No, the structure of the classes.
Oh, it's the same. Okay.
Okay.
Let me take you to data analytics. You see the structure is exactly the same.
Okay.
The first thing you get is the important material. Now the only difference is the content of the training itself.
Okay.
Okay, because as a data scientist, what you'll be learning is, a lot different from a data analyst. Okay, you can see Python here for a data science class. This is Python, but you can see the structure follows, the same. So if you look at this mentorship session, for example, what we talked about here was personal branding. How do you brand yourself so that you showcase yourself to the world? Okay, and this is one of the tools you need if you don't plan applying to jobs. If you don't want to apply to jobs, but you still want to get the jobs, personal branding is the key thing. So these are some of the things we share with you. You can see this is a mock interview too. So they had a mock interview. We interviewed some of the participants live in a session. This is the first mock interview. Sit and start approach. There's just a whole lot to be learned. In the pro. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Okay, so Crystal, are you one of the persons that have sent me a DM already, or you wanted to ask the question and then you send the DM and then I'll walk you through?
I wanted to know first.
Okay, all right. So
yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So I'll be expecting your DM, yeah?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so I'll be expecting to see your DM tonight. So I can also add you as part of the people I'll be working with on Friday. Okay, so somebody was asking what's the minimum salary of a data analyst. So minimum salary, it depends. Okay, it depends on the company you are working for. Depends on the region where you are working for this company and the likes. Okay, although minimum salary is not something that you should be worried about. What you should be worried about is the average salary. Okay, this is for data scientist. Let me go to data analyst. So you can see I put it here. So somewhere around 62K to 100K on average. Okay, that you can earn globally. All right, on an annual basis as a data analyst. All right, and you can check that in Glassdoor. Just type glassdoor.com. That's a platform where you can verify salaries, okay, offered globally. All right, so sorry, I'm just gonna mute that person. So please do not mute your microphone until I call your name. Somebody's asking, can't the 30K be paid on or before Friday to secure a spot? So we need to collate your names, James. Okay, and that's why it has to be now. Okay, ahead of Friday when the session itself. Okay, because there will be some addition to the groups. We need to add you to the exclusive group. So for the Friday freebie, so we'll add it to the group, some announcements. So find a way to secure a spot, James. Okay, I would love to work with you on Friday, especially. All right, so let me just take one more question in the chat before I go to the hands again. Please, with Power BI, SQL, and other skills that you mentioned as job requirements be taught as well, or only real world problems? Okay, it seems you mixed things up. Ihuoma, I hope I pronounce your name correctly. Okay, so somebody told me I'm good at pronouncing names, so I hope I pronounce yours correctly. So now the thing is this, yeah, you see this Power BI, SQL, and what do you call it, and other skills, just to use your words. Okay, you use them to solve real world problems. So how do you do it? That's exactly what you learn in class. So Power BI is not really separate from real world. So if for the fact that I pronounce your name perfectly, you did not even say correctly, you said perfectly. I'm gonna add 100,000 naira to your own enrollment fee. How about that? Do you like it? I'll add another extra 100K to your fee. All right, I'm just kidding, okay? But what I'm trying to say is this: Power BI is a tool for solving real-world problems. Okay, SQL is a tool for solving real-world problems. Okay, and the other skills that I talked about. So how do you use it to solve the problems? You would learn it in class by actually solving a real problem itself. So you see, okay, because you are not teenagers, right? You are adults. So, and the best way for adults to learn is by doing. And you want to also see the reasons why you are doing what you are doing. And that's how the class is structured, for the program. So I hope I answered the question. Okay, all right. So Ihuoma, have you sent me a DM already? so that by the time I drop off this call, I'll just respond to you. Okay. So far, I have received, let me see. I have received, I think about 3 to 4 DMs right on the call. So it means I have like 4 people who I've been working with on Friday or willingly. Okay. So have you sent me a DM already, Ihuoma? Not yet. Okay. What are you planning? What's your plan? Okay. What's your plan? Because I really want to work with you. All right. So what's your plan, please? You can type that in the chat while I'm taking Amos Sylvester. So I have Amos Sylvester. I have Idorenyin, I have Ngozi, and I have Steven. So I'll take those 4 people, and then we'll call it a night. So Ihuoma said I'll be joining the July cohort. Okay. So but Ihuoma, I hope you are aware that you can actually secure your spot now against the July cohort. Because you may come in July cohort, and that joke that I just said, okay, that extra 100K, it may become real. Okay, it may become real because guess what? If you go to our website, it's actually 350,000. Okay, and what we are planning to do is to update our prices due to the recent demand that we've had, for our courses. So what you want to do, secure your spot now while the situation is still how it is, and then you would not just secure this price point, you're also going to get something extra on Friday. Okay, so all right, so let's see, Amos, you are it's 30K the enrollment fee. I joined the call late, Bisola. Okay, so Bisola, the total price is 250,000 broken down into this 4 installment package. Okay, and what you have access to as per the installment is written underneath. So you can just take your time, to look at it while I take other people's question, and then I will come back to you. So Amos, you're next. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Good evening. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, good evening. Yes, I can.
Some of the questions I wanted to ask have been asked by the earlier persons that spoke and you've answered them. I only want to emphasize on the recording of the live classes because some of us are kind of busy with jobs and we have things doing on Saturday sometimes. If the classes are recorded, it means that we will not lose anything. It means that we can actually, after the class, we can actually get hold of the recording. And after watching the any question, we can get back to our men, whoever that is actually lecturing us on the courses. And then that is one. Then the Friday class you want to hold, what is it all about? What do you want to do that day? I heard you talk about LinkedIn. I actually want to teach us how to set up LinkedIn, which I'm so interested in. Let's know what is going to happen and what time.
Okay. All right. All right. Very good question. So I actually struggled to hear you, but I think I got your question. So as I'm repeating it, you can just correct me if I'm wrong. So you're asking around the recording of the class, how is it going to work, and the likes, especially if you have an engagement on Saturdays. Now, we actually have quite a number of people who actually have engagements every single Saturday. They still go ahead and join the class, okay? I mean, join the program. But then what they do is this. The first thing is we inform your facilitator about your own specific situation. So they are aware that, okay, there is, for example, there is an Amos who is supposed to be in this class, but he's not going to be attending the class because they have an engagement on Saturdays. Now, what's Amos going to do? Amos is going to watch the recording at his own preferred time and is able to still ask the facilitator questions. Okay, maybe not directly on the video, but you would have access to the facilitator via WhatsApp, and you can ask the teacher your question, and they would be so glad to answer. You'd also be included in a WhatsApp group of your fellow learners, and in most cases, people are usually very helpful. This is what we've noticed in our classes, that your other students who are in the class will be eager to help you out. Some of them will even want to join a call with you. This is not your facilitator now. Okay, some people want to help you because they understand it. They want to, bring you up to speed, and such is the situation for your facilitators as well. So all we need to do is just inform your facilitator of the situation, and they can give you that extra preference whenever it is that you ask questions. Okay, now what am I going to do on Friday exactly, and what time? And what I'm going to do on Friday is very simple. It's going to move around two things. First is I'm going to teach people how to set up Google Alerts. There's something we call Google Alerts. It allows you to be able to apply to jobs easily. What do I mean? Now, before you apply to jobs, you have to search for the jobs, right? So searching for the jobs sometimes can even kill your morale to apply to the jobs, because it's a little bit stressful sometimes, especially for newbies. So as a newbie, you must have Google Alert set up so that you don't have to go through the hassle of setting up of searching the job. Okay, so it saves you time and gives you the latest jobs. So there is the hurdle of searching for the job. There is the hurdle of also searching for the latest jobs, and that is solved by setting up Google Alerts. I'll teach you in that session. Not only that, I'll teach you how to come up with a LinkedIn post without having to think too much. Okay, I'll teach you how to come up with LinkedIn posts without having to think too much. Why is it important? Now, I told you in this session that you can actually get jobs without applying to the jobs. How to do that is by consistently, and permit me to use the word, ferociously posting on LinkedIn, contributing to the knowledge space in that career path you want to get into. How do you do it? I'll teach you practically in that session on Friday, 8 p.m. Okay? Friday, 8 p.m. We'll be in that session. I'll be live there to take you through the process. Okay? So I hope that answers your question, Amos. I hope that answers your question.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
All right, fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, fantastic. So just so I confirm, are you one of the persons who have already sent me a DM with a proof of payment?
I'll do that immediately. No problem. I'll do that.
Okay, I'm not sure I heard you clearly. Oh, okay, all right. I hope you have my details here. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, I saw your number.
Okay.
Yes, I've seen
All
your
right,
number.
that's fine. Okay, great. That's fine. I'll be expecting your DM. All right. So who is next? The next person is Ido. The person's hand just went down now. I think the person left the call. Okay. Let me move to the next person. Ngozi, go ahead, please.
Hello, good evening. My question is,
Yeah, good evening.
what are
How are
the
you doing
tools
today?
that will be needed? Yeah, fine. The tools that will be needed to start up first.
Very
The
good.
tools that we needed,
So
apart
you
from
need
the
a
money that
laptop.
we're going to spend. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. I thought you were done with your question.
Yes, the tools that will be
Are you done?
needed, apart from the funds that will pay.
Okay,
Yes, I'm
fantastic.
done.
So what? Okay, great. So what you need is you need a laptop. Okay. You need internet. You also need power supply. Okay, you also need power supply. All right, and then you need your due diligence, your interests, your enthusiasm. So those are 4 things that you need to, get yourself started. Okay, did I answer your
Thank
question?
you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm sure you have those 4 things, right? You have those 4 things.
Yeah, yes, but I cannot guarantee power supply.
Of course, we are in Nigeria. We know how it is. Okay, we know the kind of country we are in, and that's the reason why. That's it. Please don't report me to Mr. President. But yeah, it is what it is. But again, we are not going to allow that to be an excuse why we don't transition. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this together, Ngozi. All right.
Thank you.
All right, fantastic. So I'm assuming you've already sent me a DM, right? Or you wanted to ask that question first and then go on to send me the DM.
Okay. No, I'll send you the DM. So does it mean that even a novice, somebody that does not have idea of anything, whether the Excel or any other stuff, will be able to cope, be able to understand what is going on? The
Yeah,
lecture.
absolutely. Didn't you hear Esther? Was that Esther? Yes, Esther give the testimonial. Esther was a healthcare practitioner. Excel was not something she had ever used. Okay, and what I tell people generally is this: in terms of what expertise do you need to be able to participate? If you can browse on a laptop, or let's say, let me make it a little bit technical now. Let's say I ask you, oh, can you browse the hibiscus flower on your laptop and send a picture of the flower to me? If your answer is yes, then you're fine. Okay, you'll be able to scale through the program with that much knowledge of using a laptop. Okay, so you know how to browse the internet with a laptop, right, Ngozi? Your microphone is muted, so I may not be able to hear you if you're speaking.
No, you said what? I didn't get the last question.
Okay, okay. I was asking you if you know how to browse the internet with your laptop.
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. If you know how to do that, you're good to go. Okay. You are not we don't expect you to be an expert in Excel to enroll for the program. Okay. So that is that about that. So go ahead, secure your spots, and let me even give you a taster on Friday of what is to come. Okay.
Is this Friday? This coming Friday?
Okay, so the thing is this: the class itself is starting June, as I explained earlier. But for those people who even secure their spots now, they get an extra, exclusive training on Friday. Okay, normally the 30,000 is to secure a spot. Okay, and then 55,000 just before the class starts, 85,000 1 month into the class, and then 80,000 2 months into the class. If you add up everything, that's 250,000. Okay, but people who secure their spots tonight, I have a special package for them, and that's what's going to happen on Friday. Is that understood now?
Must it be tonight? Can't be till tomorrow. Tomorrow is still Thursday.
Okay, very good question. Okay, but if somebody really wants something, there is a different approach that person will take. Because you agree with me? Have you ever wanted
Yes,
something really? Exactly. So, and that's why I made it so, because I don't want crowd in that particular Friday class. Okay, so find a way to secure a spot. Okay, find a way to secure a spot. I would have easily said, oh, let me open it tomorrow, but we are not going to do that because we want to work with people who want this. Okay, so Ngozi, do you want it?
of course I do.
grab it with two hands. Okay, don't let anybody take it away from you. Not even me. Don't allow me take it away from you. Okay, so grab it with both hands. Send me a DM. Let's work with you. Okay, is that fine?
All right, no problem.
All right. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the final person for tonight. That's Steven. Steven, I'll take your question and then we'll call it a night. If there's any other question that will be asked, you can just reach out to us via our handles and take your questions after. Steven, go ahead, please.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Mohammed. I guess
Yeah,
I
good
called your
evening.
name very. Yeah.
Yes, you tried. You tried.
Okay. Okay. My question is
Yeah.
straight. I hope all this you've been saying, I've been listening since, how you're gonna mentor, how you're gonna guide us on everything. I hope it's not something when we now, because me, I'm a kind of person, word of mouth marketing. That's me. If something is good, I'm gonna tell it to everybody. And if something is bad, I'm still gonna let people know, hey, don't go to that place. That's how I live my life. I'm a realist, pure one for that. So I believe everything you are saying, the way you're saying it now, when you're going to mentor us, how you're going to put us through LinkedIn or some of that thing, like profiling us. I know that is, I hope that is how it's going to be. That's my first question.
Okay. Do you want me to answer that one first?
Go ahead, please. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I don't want you to judge me by what I say. I want you to judge me by the people that have trusted us and have gotten results. Okay, so you see people and they were very real. You call yourself a realist. These people did not sugarcoat it. Esther, for example, mentioned that there was a point she felt overwhelmed. Okay, and we were able to bring her back on track, and she went on to get a job. Mary, on the other hand, she after she got a job, she got to know that 3,000 other people applied for that same role. So, and that was when she realized that maybe, because she still didn't believe that she was worth it. So she was thinking that, okay, maybe it was the CV format we gave her that made the difference. And that's true, really. You don't have to be, it's not the best people or the most brilliant person that actually gets into tech, but the one who has the correct guidance and the correct information. So it has worked for people, and that's why with my full chest, I can say that whoever is going to trust us to work with them, you would get very similar results. Okay, in as much as you want to do this and you are ready to work with us, okay, because we'll give you guidance. And let me tell you now, when you get into the program, we're going to tell you to post on LinkedIn. If we could force you to post, we would do that, but we can't. Okay, so we would advise you to post, because guess what? Posting on LinkedIn alone, if you do it consistently, you can get a job without applying to the job, because recruiters are out there. The demand is high. Okay, so while this demand is this way, you can leverage. It's easier to enter. It's easier to enter without having to, do everything or do a lot of hard work. So when you leverage all of these things, the results are very clear. Okay, so you can look at the people we've helped, listen to them. You can even reach out to them because they are real people, right? You reach out to them, you can have a discussion with them. I really want to know, what were the struggles you faced? Okay, how was it? Was it easy? Was it hard? Okay, and they'll tell you exactly what it is. I don't know if that answers that particular question.
Yes, you did. You did. Nice one. For the ladies, I really want to ask another question. Was it data analyst they went for, or business analyst and the rest, or data science?
Okay, what's her name now? Naomi went for business analysis. Oluwaseun went for business analysis. Esther went for data analytics. What's her name now? Mary went for data analytics. Now, there are some of our students who have actually gotten jobs, but they don't tell us. Okay, I was in a session like this, and one of my old students unmuted. And I can remember his name now. I can't remember his name exactly. Now he unmuted to tell other people on the call that, you know, he passed through the program. That was last year. He was in the okay, yes, his name is Steven. Oh, his name is he's your namesake. So he passed through our program last year, and he unmuted in a session like this. I was telling people that, look, he got value, he got a job. And it was after the session I reached out to him that, look, so you got a job, you didn't tell us. Okay, so there are a lot of people like that, and you still have some other people. They'll tell you, oh, I joined this program because I have a business that I want to, you know, apply these things to. I'm not really looking for a job. All right. So people have, you know, different, you know, what's it called, goals that they used to join the program. Okay. But because the career paths are very almost equally in demand, okay, especially when you compare it to other career paths, it really doesn't matter which career path you choose. But my advice is, if you're going to choose a career path, make sure it is something you have understood based on the explanation I've given earlier in this session. So do you know what the job of a data scientist is? Do you know what the job of a data analyst is? Do you know what the job of a business analyst is? Now, once you've understood it, you pick one, and then we work with you on that to achieve your goal. Each of them have their advantages, okay, and areas that you can leverage. So that's the idea. I hope that answers the question.
Oh, thank you very much. I think my last questions will be, do you will give discounts for couples? That's my last question.
That sounds fantastic. Okay. While at this point, okay, this particular price you're seeing is somewhat like a discount, okay, because, you know, if you go to our website right now, like I said earlier, it's 350,000. So this is, even if I didn't write it, I did not write 100K off. It's actually 100K off. Okay. And looking at the fact that we're also looking at upgrading. Let me not say upgrading. Let me say reviewing the price. Okay, due to the recent demand. Okay, this is your best price. All right, this is your best price. For couples, it is nice. Okay, especially even if you want to maybe let me even ask. You want to take one career path and then maybe your wife takes the other, you know, another career path, or is it the same career path you want to go for?
We are thinking of that. We might take the same or take different, although we are couple. So that reasons why I'm asking this question. And your answer was because checking it on your website is actually 300,000. Like me, I'm a car dealer. If you go to my page, I will post a certain amount like this. But if you come, one will see, definitely there must be bidding.
Yeah, I understand
Negotiation
that.
follows. So, but the same. Well, I hope to hear from you, Sha. I will write to you on WhatsApp. Oh no, how fun.
All right, Stevie, I'm not selling this. I'm not selling car, okay? But guess what? This thing that you are seeing right here would buy you cars, okay? I'm not even doubting it. All right. So, and your car will get to enjoy it because you won't have to drive every day to work. You can work remotely. You only drive out when you want to go and flex. All right. So, you know, cars that you drive out, you know, to flex, there's a way they look than a car that is being driven to work every day. You get my point? So, yeah, it's the ball is in your court, Steven. Okay, my DM is open.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate. Let me not bore you with
Yeah,
more questions. There are other people on the line.
no problem. If you have more questions, you can chime into my DM. We'll discuss.
All right.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
All right. It's a pleasure. Okay. Let's see. Let's see whose question. I think Steven was supposed to be the last person that will answer. for one more person. I'll just take you, Adindu. Adindu, are you
Hello.
Nigerian? Are you Nigerian?
Yes, I am. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, Adindo is correct.
Okay, fantastic.
Correct. Yeah, I think thank you for the class. I think the network is actually acting up, so I'll just be quick. First, I've sent you a DM to secure a seat for the Friday event. And then again, I wanted to just confirm, would it be a nice idea to just start like from the one in between, that's the business, the data science, because I see it as, for example, like if it's were a director should be able to do his work, that of his manager is subordinate, and then an officer that is under the manager, like that. You understand? It's like before you are the director, you must have gone through all the ranks, or maybe like starting from the officer level, which is that's just hypothetically though, starting from the officer level, which is the analytics. So I'm just trying to ask your opinion, although I picked the analytics. Just wanted to know if that such a scenario could pass for it. Yeah.
Okay, very good question, and I think I see where you're coming from. Okay, now the way it works is this. Yeah, the first thing is that the roles, and that's the reason why I took time to explain each of them. So the roles of these guys, the data scientist, the data analyst, and the business analyst, are very different. Now, some of the tools they use overlap. For example, all of them use Excel. All of them use SQL also. But they use it in different ways and to solve different kind of problems. And that's why the case study is important. Okay. So what I would advise is, I know you said you picked data and data analytics, but you feel that, okay, if I pick data analytics now, am I missing out on something? You want to like have a touch of all three, right? If I'm getting you correctly.
Correct.
Okay, fantastic. So here is how you do it. Okay, and this is a candid advice. I did the same. Okay, and this was how I was able to cover all three myself. Now I started with data analytics. Now this advice I'm giving you is just for you, not for everybody. Okay, because people will say, oh, Mohammed, you said this. Does it mean if I start with business analysis, I'm making a mistake? No, you are not. Okay, back in the days, I started with data analytics, and I was working as a data analyst, and then I had the opportunity to work with data scientists. Now, before that time, I hated Python. I didn't want to write codes, because as a data scientist, you write code. Okay, even if you are not a coder, because you're a problem solver, but you need to know how to write codes to an extent. So I got the opportunity to work with data scientists, and I noticed that what they were doing did not really seem as difficult as people used to say it was. Okay, and within the same organization that I was working, a data scientist earned a tiny little bit higher than the data analyst. I could not ignore that tiny little bit. So guess what I did? I became a data scientist myself.
Okay.
Because of that extra, that extra pay. I mean, I don't mind getting that extra pay. You get my point. But the data scientists are not line managers to the data analysts. They are in the same team, working at the same level, but just different pay. Okay, and that's how the market is. Okay. Now, working on several projects, there were some projects where I worked under a business analyst. So it is the business analyst that is likely to be the line manager of both the data analyst and the data scientist. Now, how I got conversant with the job of the business analyst because I worked under, quite a number of business analysts myself, and I've grown to understand their job function, and the likes. So, that is that about that. So, in the business analyst within the same organization. So, if you have these three professionals working in the same organization, the business analyst is likely to earn the highest, followed by the data scientist, followed by the data analyst. The margin is not that much. Okay, now if you start comparing different organizations, then it's possible a data analyst in one organization earns more than the business analyst in another organization or another region and the likes. Okay, so but I hope that paints the picture for you. So what you want to do is you can start with data analyst, get a job as a data analyst first. Then from there, you go into data science, and you can start to, as you are achieving your aim, you're already racking up experience and even making money for yourself. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I had sent you a DM with the POP. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it.
Okay.
So I said,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going through. I've already responded to quite a number of people. So I'm likely going to respond to you as well before the immediately after the end of this session. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Well, one last thing, please. I am looking at starting probably the July diet, if it's okay.
Okay. Yes, that's fine. All right. All you need to do is, once you secure the spot, okay, I'll send you an enrollment form. So during the enrollment process, we'll ask you which cohort do you want to start with. And once you indicate the cohort, would include your name in that class. So when the cohort is starting, you'll be added to the class, you'll be informed, and the likes. Okay.
Okay, that's fine then. Thank you so much.
All right. So I think that would be all for tonight. I really enjoyed myself. I hope you got value for your time as well. If you are still here, I want to wish you okay. Judith is asking a question. Can I join if I don't have a laptop? I want to advise Judith. Okay, but what I can advise you to do, Judith, is secure a spot. Okay, at least you've secured a spot. Then you can indicate you want to start maybe in July or even August. So that gives you time to arrange your laptop, okay, and then you can start the program. All right. So that's we have, I think, if I'm correct, 2-3 people who have already done that. Okay, and you can do it to Judith. I hope that answers your question. All right. So I'm gonna assume Judith got the okay, fantastic. All right, so have a wonderful night's rest, guys. And for those of you who have sent me a DM, I've responded to majority. So we'll meet in class. We'll see you on Friday. Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Good night.